So we're gonna get started. Hello, everybody. I see a lot of new names here today. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Saba Chowdhury. Your class will be taught by Mizanul Chowdhury. He is my father, and he is an MIT astronaut. Oh, no, he believes he's an astronaut, but he's an MIT scientist and researcher. And he's so much in space all the time in his head that even I started calling him an MIT astronaut, but he's a scientist and researcher. And I am a public health scientist specializing in mental health, but I have joined forces with my dad to try and create educational content for Bangladeshi students. Today, we are providing this from STEMX 365, which is a nonprofit organization that my father and I started along with my mother. To provide a platform for Bangladeshi students to enter STEM fields. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And today, we have a lot of students from KRPC Bangladesh Phase 1. And KRPC is the Kibo Robotics Programming Competition, which is affiliated with JAXA, which is the Japanese Aerospace Agency, and also NASA, which I'm sure I don't have to say what NASA is. So today we have decided to do this class as a Java Basics for Astrobee. Astrobee is a robot that is used on board the International Space Station. And Mizan sir will tell you guys more about Astrobee. Today, I'm just going to give you an agenda and what we're going, and so that you can see what we're going to go through today. So I can see that there was a question here from somebody asking if a desktop or a laptop is required, or if it's possible to do this from the phone. So you can view this class today from your cell phone. That's fine. However, it will be hard for you to see the text, and Ms. Anster is going to go and show you some programming in his programming IDE later. So it will be hard for you to see that. So if you can, it would be better if you could view this from a desktop environment. But if you absolutely can't, you can stay on your cell phone today. That's totally fine. It'll just be a little harder for you. And I'm just going to scan here and quickly see if there are any more questions before we get started. So everyone can hear me okay right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can hear.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, so all right, so then I'm going to move on to the agenda, and you guys can see the screen. So Ms. Anster is going to first start by describing Astrobee and its functions. And then we're going to talk about why is Java required for Astrobee, and then a brief introduction to Java programming. This is all we have in store today, but it's going to be a packed lecture and discussion. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so it's Ms. Anser's time now, turn. So please bear with us as we change. We'll be back in a minute.
All right. Thank you, Saba. Yeah, that's good. We'll be learning Java programming for Astrobee. So I think you all are very excited. Astrobee is new robot in the International Space Station. Before it was Spheres, which I got opportunity to work with that Spheres, but it is too old. It started in 2006. That Spheres, and it is still there, but it will be replaced with Astrobee, which is very new robot, space robot. It has all the latest operating system and latest programming you can use, but now you can use Java. So what is Astrobee? Astrobee is actually free flying robot which is inside the International Space Station. It is actually the first purpose is to help astronaut. Astronaut time is very expensive, so they do a lot of work in the space inside the space station. So it costs a lot of money. So scientists and engineers they decided how can we offload some work from Astrobee, yeah, astronaut. So this Astrobee is actually right now it will be helping astronaut to do uh, some work like which usually we don't want to do, cleaning, moving stuff, and other uh, tasks that will be done by Astrobee. So then in the future, Astrobee will do so many other cool stuff like building space object inside in the space, because in the space there will be big telescope in the future. So those telescope will not be built by astronaut because it is too risky to build big telescope in the space. So Astrobee type space robot will be used in the space. So right now we are not thinking that, we are just thinking that how we can navigate Astrobee in from one place to another place, moving if there is an obstacle in front of it, how to change direction and how to rotate, move, those kind of thing we are testing right now. So um, like I already mentioned that Astrobee is a successor of Spheres, which is Spheres robot. We also call Sphere satellite. So Spheres is more like satellite and robot, but Astrobee is not kind of satellite. It is a perfect robot that I would like to say. Uh, Next slide, please. So as you see in the picture, Astrobee is like it's a cubical shape. So 1 cubic feet, you can say. Like it has so many things. Spheres, when we had spheres, spheres did not have uh, all these things, but spheres was different. This Astrobee can move. It uses impeller, like it uses propeller to create forced air. So you see here an impeller, it creates a lot of uh, air pressure, and then for that it can move forward. We can talk about detail later, but okay. So for this programming, we'll be learning high level, like what it can do. Like it has camera. It has 6 cameras: nav cam, hatch cam, then perch cam, dog cam, speed cam. By looking at the name, you can tell speed cam. It is speed cam, and perch cam. It is for this arm. When this arm try to catch something, it takes picture. And also you see side cam, hatch cam. There's a nav cam also. So when you move, use nav cam here, nav cam. This one. And then it has a touch screen, like in your iPhone or Android, you can um, do stuff by touching screens. So it has touch screen. It has a laser pointer. It has microphone. Um, then wake button, forward flash light. When it moves forward, it flashes the light. Status lead. You can see what is the status of this robot. Then these are corner bumper, like when it moves, make sure it doesn't break any corner or anything. So we put this corner bumper, and it has battery. So this is the battery. It has like the spheres. The previous robot we had battery, but it used to move the thrust. This impeller create thrust. This thrust, previous robot used to use like carbon dioxide to create the thrust. Sorry, but here we use air to create the thrust, high force air. So anyway, so that's a high level of Astrobee, but inside there are so many things. We will go through that later. But our main objective today is to learn Java. And why Java is for Astrobee, that I'm gonna talk. All right, why Java for Astrobee? So Astrobee is, like I said, is a robot. So robot has it's robot. What is robot? Robot is actually our desktop. Our phone can be robot also, iPhone or Android phone. So inside it, it has hardware. We call CPU, motherboard, uh, so many things it has, memory. Um, so Astrobee has same thing inside the Astrobee. This is like motherboard. I put this picture. This is actually a desktop motherboard picture. But I just want to show you that there's no big difference between desktop or iPhone and Astrobee. At the end of the day, it has like motherboard, it has CPU, it has fan and everything, memory, everything there. So we call their mid-level processor and low-level processor, uh, which is very deep. We don't want to talk about that today's tutorial, but we'll talk about this portion, high-level processor. High-level processor was designed to help uh, guest scientists like you. You guys are scientists. You guys are scientists for this Astrobee. In the future, you'll be writing code for this Astrobee, how to move here and there. So uh, anybody who works on this Astrobee project, they are scientists. All are scientists. So you should be proud of this. So for scientists, we provided a layer, like how are you going to communicate with this layer? At this moment, you don't have to worry about this portion, how it works. You have to worry about this portion, like how I'll send command from my desktop to this MLP, which is mid-level processor, or LLP, or low-level processor. How will I send message? So we created a layer here, which we call guest scientist, science manager. There's manager which manages all the command coming from outside. And this is guest scientist library. And that library is provided by NASA. And somehow, if you can communicate from your desktop to this science library, then you'll be able to control this Astrobee. So to communicate from here to here, we said you have to have APK, which is Android Package Kit. Right now, this Astrobee only support Android Package Kit, which is, I don't want to make too complicated. In like simple way, this APK is written in Java actually. So you build, you use different IDE, different mechanism to create APK, but inside it is all Java. So it is written in Java. So if I say APK, Android Package Kit, right away you'll think, oh, it is written in Java. So you need to know Java. This is the main thing. So if you want to send some command from your desktop uh, or your laptop or iPhone also, iPhone, Android, then you have to write APK, Android Package Kit, using Java language. So I think it is clear to you why we need Java. So usually we write APK using Android Studio. It is free. You can download from internet. This I'll provide the link later. But here's a link. Um, if you go there, then you can download that and install. There's instruction how to install it. But today I will not go through this. Today we'll go through how you can write Java code. So Android Studio, you can write Java code, but it is especially designed for APK development, Android package kit. So it has other tools, other emulator, everything, and I don't want to make it complicated today. I just want to keep it simple. So today we'll not be using Android Studio. In the future, we'll be using that. So now let's talk about Java. What is Java? So Java is a programming language, software programming language for computer. Or I mentioned computer, but you can run on iPhone, Android phone, any uh, um, any device which can process this Java program. So Java was developed by Sun Microsystem in 1991, and then now it is acquired by Oracle. Oracle maintains all the Java related binaries and SDK, JVM, everything is managed by Oracle now. James Gosselin and Patrick Norton developed Java. Um, it is very good programming language, and it is object oriented. Everything you write in Java, everything you have to think as object, like real world. We all are object. Every human being an object. Everything you see around you, everything object. So Java is very, I would say, it is a very practical language which will give you practical knowledge. You can apply that in a practical world. There are other languages, Python, Node.js, C Sharp, C++, C, but I would say Java is the most um, smart language. It thinks as an object, and also you can compare C Sharp with Java, but C Sharp came after Java. So, and Java is very secure and portable, and it can run in any platform, Windows, Mac, Linux, anything you want. So that's why it is very popular. And still today, Java is the highest paid programming language. Environment setup. So you may think, how can I write Java code? How can I program? You need something. You need some platform or environment, something you need. So Java, Sun Microsystem, they started with a development kit so that the developer can download and install and use that kit to develop, write Java programming. So here's a link. If you write in the internet search box like JDK download, it will take you to this link, and you can the instruction you can install. At the end of the day, if you see your Mac laptop or Ubuntu, whatever you have, you will see something like this. Like you have to do export path. Basically, you'll define where is my Java. You have to download, install it, then you have to define here's my Java. I'll show you that later. And in Windows, who are good in Windows, they will see under C Windows System 32 or program files Java, JDK, bin. This is the path for Java. Basically, when you install, Windows automatically install in this path, like program files, Java, then they will see JDK and then bin folder. Uh, but if you install manually, then I don't want to install under program files, I want to install somewhere else. That you can do also, but you have to define the path in the environment variable. Uh, then you might say, what is environment variable? But we'll talk about that later. Let me see, there's a comment. JDK 8 is not installable without Oracle account. What should I do? No, I don't think that is true because you can download without account. I think there is an option to select not to register, something like that. Yeah, you have Android, you can try it, but you can today we'll not use Android, we'll use other IDE. But yeah, you can write Android code. But when you write Android, use Android, it adds so many other things, you get confused. So I don't want to get make you confused on this. So yeah, okay. So let's go to the next slide. So editor, we need when you write Java code, you need some editor. Editor, what? Honestly, if I would say like for a experienced developer, they don't need anything. They just need laptop or Windows desktop, and they can write programming language any without editor. But editor these days, everything is moving fast. So if you want to write code fast, then you need some smart IDE. Like there are some IDE available in the market. Notepad is something saying this is experienced developer. For experienced developer, they don't need any help. But NetBeans is a tool you can download and install. It's very easy to install. Um, so you can write Java code using NetBeans, Eclipse, Visual Code, Sublime, Atom, Vim. Vim comes with like Linux, and IntelliJ. So NetBeans, Eclipse, they provide help. They will help you. Even IntelliJ, they will help you to write code. They will check your syntax. If there is any problem, it will say, "Oh, you have problem with the syntax." So there is no chance to miss anything if you use IDE. So I recommend you to use IDE. Once you're expert, then use something else, whatever you like. So today we'll be using IntelliJ. One of the reasons why I chose IntelliJ, if you install IntelliJ, you'll see the IntelliJ interface similar to Android. So today, if you use IntelliJ, then next tutorial, when I'll use Android, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So like I said, IntelliJ, this is the GUI. This is similar to Android. If anybody uses Android, they'll know what I'm talking about. It's similar, it looks similar. And it has so many other tools you see in the top, which is useful for programming. So now, basic Java syntax. What is like, what is Java? So now, how you can write Java code, simple Java code. Like here, I want to write a program which will say, "Hello, Astrobee programmers." So if I ask you to write program like this, how will do that? You need some kind of tool, like like I said, IntelliJ or Notepad or something. So today I will show you some like why I said you don't need anything. That I want to show you first. Just bear with me. Do you see my screen?
They can only see that one.
Yes, I see it.
Uh, which one is the terminal? Is the terminal?
No, sir, it's all about basic Java syntax. That's what I can see.
Oh,
They can only see the computer screen, that computer screen. So you
okay.
delete the part.
Just a second.
Do this one.
No.
You need to do this one.
আঁকতে ঝামেলা কেন?
Okay, here, share this one. It'll work. Now they can see this. Okay. Can you guys see the terminal now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to show you that how we can write program without anything. Let me remove what I had before. So I have nothing here. So I'm going to write something. So in Linux, you can, I'm just, so I'm just showing you some example. So when I want to create one file in Linux, you can use touch. It's a command. Touch means you're creating some file. In simple way, if I want to say my Astrobee program, and file name always should be Java and extension Java. So okay, Saba is saying most programmer uses Windows. So in Windows, you can use Notepad. You can create new file, and you can use Notepad. But writing style is same. Let's say you have some text file, and you save as myastrobeeprogram.java. And here I'm doing the same thing, like touch myastrobeeprogram.java. I'm just creating file. See, now I have a file here. In Windows, you'll do dir, and then it will show what files there. So now I'll open this Java file in Linux-based Notepad. Like there are so many tools in Linux, Nano, Vim, Vi. So I'm using Nano. Okay, so this is just like Notepad. So when you open Notepad, your Notepad is empty. So what do? You write public class my Astrobee program. You have to notice one thing, like the file name here, my Astrobee program. This name and this class name should be same. So this is the class. And in Java, we say it's object oriented, everything object. So any object you create, you need some kind of um, cookie cutter. Like when you make a cookie, the cookie company, they use cookie cutter, and they have different shape of cookies, different style, different things. So for each style they have what you call cookie cutter. So
Star shape,
star
circle
shape,
shape.
circle shape,
Yeah.
anything shape. So if you use a star shape, you'll be able to create a star cookie like from 1 to millions. Everything will be star shape. So here in Java also, when you when you want to create object, you need class first, which is actually cookie cutter. The cutter, the shape. So I said public class my Astrobee program. That means I'm creating cookie cutter. I'm not creating cookie yet. I'm just creating cookie cutter. Is that clear? So when I say public class my Astrobee program, so I'm basically creating cookie cutter type class, which will create object in the future, which will create my Astrobee program object. The same as cookie cutter, okay? And public, why we say public? Like when you publish something in the Facebook, first you say only me. Only me means private. I can only see. Nobody will be able to see my post. But when you say, when you do the drop down and select public, it becomes public. It is visible to the world, huh? So that's is a public. So when I create this cookie cutter, that is visible to everybody. Everybody can use this cookie cutter. So what is cookie cutter here? Cookie cutter is my Astrobee program. This is cookie cutter. And when you will use this cookie cutter to create object, it will become my Astrobee program object. Okay? So then everything cookie cutter, but we define the cookie cutter, but how are you going to use it? How you'll so you need something to trigger this public static void main string so you need some method which will say you have to start here. Is just saying you have to start here. So you'll start in main. Some of you may know how to write C code or C++. In C, you'll see there's main also, which means the main method that that will be triggered first. Like if I have so many other classes, the class which has main, that will be triggered first by the user. And here same thing, public. So I made it public because in outside people, they need to access this main method. So they, by doing public, it will be visible for everybody. And static main method, static means this main method is for this class. And you can call this main method without creating any object, like without creating any cookie. And void when you don't return anything, Like let's say I said, uh, Saba, you go there and do this, then bring $10. That means he went some Saba went there and did some work, and then she brought $10. That is return. You're returning something. You're returning $10. But if I say just go and do help and don't bring any money, you don't need to bring any money. Just help. That is like you're not returning anything. That is void. So this main program does not return anything. It does the work. I think it is clear to you. So then I wanna write. I wanna display something here. So when you display something in Java, they provide some tool to print something like system dot out dot println. Then inside you can say hello Astrobee programmers. So I'm showing this. Don't feel too complicated right now because I'm just showing how I can write program without tool, without IDE. So what I'll do now, I'll save my work. So I have this file. This is written in Java, and file name is my Astrobee program.java, and inside this Java you have code. See, inside this Java, when I want to see in Linux, you use cat this file name, then it will show what is inside. So inside this code is there. So now it is class, it is just a class. So how I'll make it object? So Java provided tool, it called Java compiler, Java C. Java C means Java compiler. Java compiler, I'm using Java compiler to compile this. It compiled, it will create dot class file. See here, it created dot class file. Basically, it has bytecode. And now, if you want to run it, say it is saying hello Astrobee programmer. So basically, see, you can write Java code without any IDE. Okay, here's some question came. I will go through those things later. I'm just in this slide. I'm just showing you how we can write code without tool, without fancy tool like Android Studio or Eclipse or anything. Like you're working some environment, you cannot install any IDE. Then how are you gonna write code? It happens when you work for like security company or Department of Defense hardware. You cannot install anything like Eclipse in NetBeans. You have to work in a terminal. So, but right now I'm not focusing on that. Right now I'm just showing you that how you can write simple program without tool. So here's a question: like, what is a string? Square bracket args. Like here, see string, it means you can provide a list of argument to the main program. Like from outside, you can say, okay, print um, print argument. I'll show you a list, how list works. So a list of argument means you have list of names or list of something. Like if you have list like name Saba, Mizan, uh, Ashraf, something, you're providing some names. So you're gonna print something here. Then you will say print. Just a second. I wanna show you what I'm trying to say. Here, like if you provide a list of names, then it's a list args 0. So if you have a list like list arg, here's the Mizan, Adib, Saba. So this is the list of arguments. So if I provide this list through this main program, and if you're gonna write print something like arg1, what name will be printed? Who can tell me?
Adib
Why?
for one.
Because it's an array and its index start from 1
But I said
and start
args
from 0.
0.
Zero, then it will be
Then it will
Mizan.
be Mizan.
Thank you. Great. Okay, so this just I'm trying to answer your questions. We'll go into detail later. Okay, so you saw how the basic syntax. No, now I'll show you how it works actually. So in the Notepad or Atom or Eclipse or IntelliJ, whatever tool you use, end of the day you're writing some source code, which is .java file. Here you see, sorry, I'm not showing.
Oh, here. We Here.
Do you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So I showed you how to write code, and when you wrote a program, I named it like my Astrobee program.java. See here, .java, which is source code. This is just source code. It is just like a letter. You're writing something, some letter in the WordPad or Word document, or here we're writing in .java file. So you're writing instruction. So how Java works? Java is a compiler. When you install your JDK, it comes with a compiler. It compiles to a class, dot class, which is bytecode. 01010101, something like that, bytecode. And then Java comes with JVM, Virtual Java Machine. Virtual Java Machine interprets your class bytecode to a specific, for a specific platform. Like if you run in Mac, you need to install JDK in Mac or JVM. If you develop and run your program, if you want to develop and run your program, then you need JDK, which comes with JVM and all other packages. So for Windows, you need same thing. If you go back to Windows, you'll see somewhere either Windows System 32 or this location, you'll see Java. So basically, you have to install Java in Windows. Otherwise, it will not work. And Linux, same thing. Like Ubuntu, you need to install JDK also to run your Java bytecode. So this is the beauty. Like Oracle provides or Sun provides some tool you can just install in your machine. Then you'll be able to run your Java code in any platform. For Mac, you need every platform you need JVM. That is common. But good thing is that if you write Java code, you'll be able to run in any platform. And this JVM is free. But there are some licensing issue, but that's not the subject now. But for your development, if you have Mac, you can develop and run Java code. If you have Windows, you can do the same thing. If you have Ubuntu, Linux, Red Hat, or Fedora, you can do the same thing. So each operating system has different JVM. This JVM, they designed one for Mac, another for Windows, another for Linux. So they have different kind of. Like I said, the JVM produces after execution of bytecode is same across all operating systems. So if you create the program, then you'll be able to run any platform that you're trying to say. Okay, so JVM versus JRE versus JDK. So some of us get confused. What is JDK? What is JVM? What is JRE? It's complicated sometimes. So this is, I just want to make it simple. Like JDK, this is JDK. So inside the JDK, you have JVM, sorry, JRE, Java Runtime. And then you have JVM, Java Virtual Machine, libraries, rt.jar. We'll not talk about this stuff. This comes with JRE and compiler, debugger, and other development tool. Everything comes with the JRE. And so these days, if you download JDK, let's say JDK 8, you'll get everything. And you don't need to worry about compiling, running your Java. So all you need to understand how Java works. You write code, name it .java. If you have Java compiler in your machine, that means if you have JDK in your machine, then you'll be able to write command like Java C like this, Java C, and program name .java. This is a lowercase actually. So if you write this, it will create bytecode, which is plus. So you just, if you can execute that, you just Java, that program name. You don't need dot class, you don't need Java dot nothing. You did just Java, that program name. That way you'll be able to run your program. So that's all about Java, how Java works. I think it is clear to you. Now we'll go the detail, like what we'll be learning here. Java syntax I already explained. Java comments, variables, data types, type casting, operators, strings, math, if else, switch statement, for loop, while loop. These are the tools you need to write a program, big program. These are basic things. You need to know how I write. Sorry, I'm just checking if there's any question. Anyway, so these are tools you need to write program. This is common for any program. If you know this syntax for Java, same knowledge you can apply for Python, C++, C, Node.js, Golang, whatever you like. So you need to understand these basic things. That's why I said Java basic. It is basic for all programming. And it is better to learn Java first. That way you'll know what is object oriented. But in this class, we'll not be talking about object oriented thing. We'll be talking about mostly basic syntax. So I already mentioned that Java syntax, public class Astrobee, public, this, if I remove this is the class. Very simple, you don't need anything else. Just public class Astrobee. This is what? Is this object or cookie cutter? Tell me.
Cookie cutter.
Good. This is cookie cutter. We are creating cookie cutter. So in Java, syntax is very simple. You just say, if you don't want to write this, you're too lazy. Let's say you're very lazy. It automatically will say, oh, it is public. You don't need that also. So you see, class Astrobee, curly bracket, start curly bracket end. That's it. This is the class. Very simple. Now, how are you gonna run this program? You need some main program, like for human being. What triggers our life? Like our heart is the main thing. My heart. Or some people say soul. If you don't have soul, you're dead. Huh? So you need some kind of soul. So this is the soul of the class. It triggers here. And this soul should be public. And it is static because you want to run this without creating object. It is class method. So if you define static, you don't need to create object and then, sorry, my mouse is crazy. You don't need to create an object then call this main method. You can just call, like when I say Java Astrobee after compiling my code, when I say Java Astrobee, it automatically calls this program first. So when it says, okay, there's a static void main, then compiler says, oh, this is the place I have to start. It automatically knows. Okay, so I already explained this. Like when you run program, you can provide some parameters. Okay, I want to run this program in the like you want to provide some name. This is my first Astrobee program in Java for let's say for args. Sorry, args 1. So in arg1, I just want to write here. args Rafid, then some other name, Mufrad. Sorry if I do the wrong spelling. Tasneem, Mehdi. So I mentioned some name that who were who always come to our tutorial, but it is for everybody. So here, let's say when I write, other program is trying to use this Astrobee and run this program, they can provide some parameters. Like this parameter is list of string. These are string. When you put something in a double quote, everything becomes string. So list of strings. How many items there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 items here. 4 items. This is a list of strings. List of names. So I'm providing list of names here, and I'm trying to print here. So I'm printing args1. So it will say this, when I'll run this program, it will say this is my first Astrobee program in Java for
Mufrad.
Mufrad.
Good. So this is the technique. Okay. So and here you see I put / end of main. It's a good practice when you write code. It is like when you work in the industry, you're writing code, and it has to go through other developers. We call peer review. They will review your code. They'll see whether he is a good coder or bad coder. Okay. If you write comment here, okay, this is my first main code, and you say this is my main of end of main. The peer reviewer will be very happy. Oh my gosh, he or she is very like organized, good documentation. Then here's the end of Astrobee class. Oh, he or she put comment like this is the end of class. So always try to put some comment here. Like here you can say, when you write comment, you can use / printing message for developers. So actually this line, when somebody will read your code, they'll understand what you're trying to do. So this is common practice, that you have to add some comment so that other will understand what you're doing here. So to write that comment, you need / and if you have multiple comments, sometimes you say, oh, if I have multiple lines, so you can use this within start and you can write multiple comments. So anyway, those are more detail. I just want to share what is comment look like. And I already mentioned void. Why it is void? Because it's just printing. It's not returning anything. It's just printing the name. And what else? And here one thing you have to, when you write class name, always class name should start with capital letter. Capital letter. Try to remember capital letter of class name. And method name always start with lowercase. So here's one method. If I write another method, if I say private print. Private print message. See, my message name is, method name is, you see, first letter lowercase, then I use like we call camel case, So print message, P lowercase, then message M capital. You can do this way, but never put this one capital. Is wrong. Okay, and also another thing you need to understand, like when you define some variables, I will talk about variables later. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, variable later. So anyway, so this is a syntax. Now we'll talk about variables. Variables is very common in programming language. Variables is actual container. When we'll write in the future, you'll see you need something to put something. So in the variable, so when like here in the syntax, okay, here you see I created a variable here. This is called variable. To put this list of names, I need some container, which is args. This is a container. This is nothing but container. It contains only names, list of names. Okay. So same thing here. Variable is just a container. It's nothing but container. It contains data. It contains data. In programming, we deal with data, nothing else, just data. It could be a number or a string or decimal, anything. All are data. So to make it very easy, I have two pictures here. How are you gonna put how are we gonna define container? Like for big books, like books, when you move from one place to another place, what do? We buy some boxes and then put stuff there. So you see here, I put boxes here. So for books, I need bigger box. And you don't want to put too much heavy books there. That will break your back, which happened to me once. So you have a limit. So I want to put 20 books here in this box. And book size is big. That's why you need this type of box. But on the other hand, you have pencils, pen, and other small official stuff. You need small box. You don't need big box for that. For pen, eraser, then scissor, you don't need big box. That's why this box is small box. So you have to be very efficient when you buy your box. For when you move, we try to save some money. Like I need a big box, 2 big box. I need 3 middle-sized box and 10 small box. Reason is we want to save money and we want to organize in good way. Like we don't want to waste our space, money. So in programming also, you have to make sure you put your data in right container. That is bottom line. So this is very important. Like programming, you have to deal with memory. If you write program and if you are not careful about this, your program will take a lot of spaces for no reason. So the good programmer always think about these things. Okay, so there are variable types. Like I want to say, I already mentioned variable is nothing but container. So there are different type of containers in the market. Like if we move from one place to another place, we buy box. If we do other things like kitchen stuff, we buy different type of container from market and we organize things. So this is same concept. Because this concept came from real life. Programming is everything is came from real life. So you have to, if you can compare your real life with this programming, it will be very easy. So variable type, I would say different container types. So there are different container type. One is primitive data type, and as a non-primitive data type. Non-primitive data type is important. I'll not talk about that a lot, but primitive data type we use a lot. So you see here byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, and char or car or whatever you say. So it is actually nothing but containers name, like different type of container. Some are very big, some are small. So I'll show you that. Here, see, this is primitive type. Primitive type long. Here is a long. So long is here. By looking at this picture, you can easily say that which one is the biggest, which can hold the biggest number. Which container can biggest number?
Long.
Good. Which container can the smallest number?
Boolean.
byte.
Byte. Good. So this picture, when you program something, always keep this picture in front of you. That way you will be able to define your thing correctly, and you will be very good programmer. So you see byte, long, it can hold this big number. I can even say what is the number size. See, minus this 2 plus this. And int from this number to this number. Within this range, if you have any number with this range, you'll use int. If you have number within this range, why you'll put that here? You don't want to put that here. You want to put integer in integer container. Same way, short. Short is smaller than int, and its range is this to this, minus 32,768 to 32 plus 32,767. This is the range. And byte, this is the range. So this picture will give you guide. And this is all about number. Number is no decimal, no fraction, nothing. This whole number. If there's whole number, can anybody tell me what can go in the long, in the, I don't know, if you write program, can you give me some example? Okay, if not, that's fine. So why did we use unique ID, universal unique ID, GUID, like different number we use, like also machine number, MAC number. MAC number is different, but any number which is very long, like in the database, if we have a table, and in that table, if we insert billion data, then row number will increase to billion. In that case, we'll use that row number. Row number we define in the ID. ID is the row number. So ID will be defined as long, because ID column, if, sorry, I'm going too technical, but to make it very little simple, like I want to identify some row, something. So in identify, yeah, pi value has a decimal. I'll talk about pi value later, but if there's a number which doesn't have any, number is number, it doesn't have any decimal, nothing. It's whole number. Whole number usually you'll see in the future, like ID in the database world. Like we store data in the tables. Each table there's multiple rows, like 1,000 billions rows. And when we insert a lot of data, and then its ID becomes like billion, trillion number. So in that case, you define ID as a long. And integer is very common. This is the range. Like account balance. Account balance also comes with a fraction, but any number, big number, which is within this range, you put in integer. Anyway, so decimal, like decimal is like currency. Currency, we use two decimal. If it comes like more decimals, more precision, like dot something 9.000000005. We want very precision number. That will go in double. Double can hold like 15 decimal digit. And 7 decimal digit, maximum 7 decimal digit float. If we have any decimal number has like maximum 6 decimal, then you're gonna use float. And more than 7, you can use double. Then character like A, B, C, you get grade A, B, C. Those are car characters. So it I put, you see here, decimal and long, they are 8 byte. Int and float, they are 4 byte. Short and char, 2 byte. Byte and boolean, 1 byte. So true, false is boolean, like light on, off. Use true, false. I'll show you later, but you have to understand this clearly, that when we'll use double, when you'll use float, when char, when long, when int, short. This is very important especially in Astrobee programming, space programming, because you want to utilize your space's memory efficiently. Okay, so now here's the interesting thing. Without going to this, I want to hear from you. Let's say if I want to say, put this byte, some byte, in this box. Do you have to do any extra work?
No,
Good. Why?
because it will fit in the long anyway.
Thank you. So I think everybody understand, like this is smaller than this one. It will automatically fit in this box. You don't need to do extra work. But if you're gonna put this one here or here or here, what's going to happen? You have
The
to do extra work.
container will blast.
You have to do extra work. You have to squeeze this thing to fit into this or this or this. You have to do extra work. So here, that's why I'm going to show that when I put smaller to bigger, then it will automatically cast. Like cast means cast is nothing but if I have byte, I want to change it to long. Here, changing is name, it's container from byte to long. In that case, you don't have to do any work. It automatically change. But when you cast from this to this, then you have to do the extra work. So that's why we say widening and narrowing. Narrowing means you were big, now you're going narrow yourself. So when you narrow yourself, like I said, if you want to put this one here, you have to squeeze. You have to make smaller somehow. So here, that is casting and his operators. We use a lot this, like usually when we do programming, for add we use plus sign like x plus y, subtraction x minus y, multiplication x, this asterisk y, division x by y, modulus. This actually it will divide and it will return the division reminder. And then increment. If I increment something, then we use this. Like for example, plus plus x. This is actually means x plus 1. I'll show you later. And then decrement. It will decrease by 1. So these are the operators we use in programming. There are so many other operators, but for this program, these are enough. And also, no, these are not. Maybe you have like this is a greater sign, then a smaller sign, then greater equal to. There are so many other signs. We will show when you do programming. Anyway, then we have a statement, if else. This statement is like, if you do this, then I'll do this. If you do that, then I'll do this. Something like that is statement. Like if condition here, that condition like condition this, then show blue Astrobee. If else, show orange Astrobee. Then switch. Same thing, like something coming here. If one, if case one, let's say this expression is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If case means what is coming here. If expression is 1, then print this. If expression is 2, then print this. If expression nothing, like default, then print this. So there are two different statements. Then we have while loop. While loop condition, like do this until some condition is compromised or whatever you say. Like if do this until, let's say you're doing some work, and if I say do this until I say no, until I say stop, then you use while. you have to say, you're doing some work, then I say stop. Then you use while. And if I say do this up to, do this, do this work and start from 0 to some limit, say up to 10. Do this work. So it will print this 10 times. For that, you need to use for loop. For loop, like for example, we used like list of array string. Sorry. Let's say list of 2 players. I want to print this. Then you use for loop. So it will go through this list and it will print first one, then next one. So you're going to use here. Okay, I'll show you in the IDE, in the programming, when I'll do programming a little bit. Then I'll talk about array. Like already I explained what is array. Like this is data type. Array syntax is data type and variable name. And when I say variable name and data type, it is actually what type of container, and this is the container name. So this is, let's say I'm using a string type container. So string type container, this is container name, and actually, you know what? This is when I mentioned here. Okay, non-primitive data type. String is non-primitive. Class and whatever class you create using Java code, all are non-primitive. But integer, int, long, float, these are primitive. So string is actually it's an object. You can create object, but from byte and int you cannot create any object. This is primitive data type. So here I used non-primitive. Just bear with me now. I'll show you why I'm talking about primitive, non-primitive. This is object. So this non-primitive type container, its name is player list. In that container, I put player 1, player 2, player 3, or like 8 players. So when you say array, it looks like actually like this. It is start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here 8 players, but index start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's why when I printed, you guys was able to tell me which will print because you know the index. So if I say print player list, if I say print player list 3, so which one will print?
2.
Player list 3. 2.
Player 4.
Good. 4. It will print 4. 7?
Player 8.
Good. Okay. Okay, so when we'll write program in the future, you need a list. We use list a lot. You can imagine we use a lot, especially in these days. Array is very important, and you will hear a lot of interview question about array versus linked list, simple list, linked list, all this thing you'll hear, especially in this world. There are a lot of data science, data related position. They need to understand this array. So yeah, array is very simple. If you think in simple way, it's just like a box. You're putting box one after another, one after another, one after another, and you just say, okay, the first one is 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. It's and you define your number. And one thing is, let's say you move this one, deleted this one, this player, you deleted this player. So what is going to happen? It will automatically move here. And in that case, do you have this?
No.
Good. No. Because like when I had this, it printed which one? When I did not delete this, what it printed? Which player?
Player 8.
Good. Now, which player should be player 8? Which index?
7.
No, index. 6.
So index number 6.
Yeah, so it's 6. See, it is automatically shifting this from this position to this position. So this became 6, and this became 5, this became 4. So array is not good for deleting stuff because it's rearrange everything. It's a lot of work rearranging. So for deleting, we use other type of list. We'll talk in the future. But if somebody says, is this good for deleting? Array is good for deleting? You will say no. Array is good for what? It's good for searching. If you want to search some data in the list, array is the best way to search. Because why? Because you'll just provide the index. You don't need to search one by one. You just say, okay, number 7 is 8. Yeah, player 8. Index number 3 is player 4. That's it. So here's a for loop. For loop, how do you do the for loop? So player list, you need to know the length of the list. How big is the length? One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. 8. The length is 8. So it will loop through 8 times. And when it will loop through, it will increase the I value. I was 0. For first loop, it will become 1 because it will add 0 plus 1. Second time, it will become 1 plus 1. Then 2 plus 1, something like that. So when the I is 8, it will stop printing because I'm done. There are 8 items. I printed all. So in that case, you use for loop. I want to show you some programming a little bit. If you're going to write code for Astrobee, you need to know basic, and you have to understand why I need Java, and these are the basic thing you need to understand first. Do you see my IntelliJ screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can install IntelliJ. Like I said, you don't have to use IntelliJ. You can install anything you want. NetBeans is very good tool. Eclipse is very good. IntelliJ, like I said, in the future when we'll do Android, it is similar. That's why I used IntelliJ. So it's very simple. Like say new project. Here it say additional libraries framework. We don't need additional library at this time. Groovy, Kotlin, we're not gonna need anything, right? No library. We'll just do simple Java. So click next. Create project from template. Command line app. Like we'll not be doing any graphical like AWT, 3D or anything. So there's a command line. Here you can provide the name. You can say as Astrobee basic programming and base package. You see here location. It's up to you where you're gonna locate. You can provide your preferred location. So this is up to you. And base package. Base package is everything package. Like when you put some file in your laptop or Windows, you put in some folder. You know the location for your own easy access. You say, okay, I'm going to put my file under C colon C slash some folder. So you go by folder structure. So so this com actually is a folder name. Folder name, then another folder name, then you can put another folder name just by just dot. So I can put more folder name. Tutorial, then first tutorial, something like that. But I don't want to make it complicated. So I'm just showing you what is package means. Package is actually location of your file. Where is your file located? When you'll write a feature program, you'll see it is very important to know the location. So now we'll say finish. It will always ask you, you can turn off this one, but it is better to keep it like this. I will say this in window. Okay, so what do you see here? This is the program we're doing using IDE. Is fancy IDE. They provide all tools to make your life easier, and they organize this way. Like you have to think about this folder. This is most important. SRC, and this is package name, location name, where this file is located, and this is your main program. They by default will give you main program. This is main. You don't have to worry about this. Oh, I have to write different name. But in the future, if you're gonna write a new class, here's a new class, Java class, then you can provide some name. Astrobee.
So could you tell me what ID is?
Excuse me?
So could you tell me what IDE means or what it is?
Oh, sorry. ID means Integrated Development environment. Integrated development environment. That means this is the environment where you have everything, all tools to write your program.
Okay, sir, got it.
And I really appreciate you asked me this question. Sometimes when we do tutorial, we forget these basic things. So is that clear that IDE means integrated development environment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, this is integrated development environment. They're helping me to write. I didn't write this code. They helped me to write this code. They put this package here and all this public class and main. They automatically make it lowercase. Then they put this. These are the extra work they do. Very helpful. And also they give you some instruction. Okay, if you wanna write some comment, you use this forward slash then write comment. So now,
So you can see the difference here between writing in Notepad or Terminal. They're not going, like, it's not going to write some of these automatic things for you, but in an IDE, it provides these extra tools for you while you're coding.
yeah. So here's and it provides a lot of tricks. Like in regular Notepad and other tool, you have to write system dot out dot print ln, then you write something. Hello, Astrobee programmers. Something. See here, you have to write everything, which is good. You learn how to write code, and it provides some instruction here. But you can do the same thing if you see SOUT and then tab.
Yeah, you won't see these instructions pop up in Notepad or Terminal.
That's the beauty of using this kind of tool. But honestly, I recommend to use Notepad for junior developer. That way you learn more. And also, if you use IDE, try to notice their comments, like they give some instruction. If you follow that, then you'll learn a lot. So now you say you can write same thing here. So this is one thing I want to show, that you can use IDE. And also, let's say you want to write for loop. So string args.
What's for loop?
Yeah, I'll try. String args. Let's copy from there. Oh. You have to notice sometimes this double quote doesn't work the same way.
Between programs.
Yeah.
This is pretty common when you're coding. If you're copying and pasting from somewhere, say the internet, you found like some code and you copied it from Google and then you pasted it into your IDE, a lot of times you'll get an error. And that's because you'll have to replace all the double quotes and rewrite them. This is very common. So before you try and fix other parts of it, make sure that the quotes are actually appearing properly. A lot of times it's just as easy as replacing
Did you
them.
notice here it says red line? That means there's some problem.
Yes,
So
that's
I say, see, red line is gone.
See, yeah. So that's exactly a good illustration
So
of this
IDE will
issue.
give you a guide. Oh, you did not write good. So now for loop. Actually, for loop also has some kind of so I will do this work length. You see, in IDE, if it's a dot, then it will give you all this option. What do you want? And why you are getting this? Because this is an object, like in the slide I said primitive, non-primitive. Non-primitive is an object actually. Object has so many things. Object has, like, we are object, human being. We have eye, ear, hand, leg, everything. We eat, we sing song, we write program, so many things. So this is also object. This, when we say string, this and this variable, this becomes object. This becomes object. And if it is object, then in this fancy IDE, if you say dot, then it will give you option. See here, this is called function length. All this cool thing you'll get. So here we'll be using length. So we'll do for loop up to the length of this list, and we'll increment one by one. Then we'll do our work within curly bracket. In Java, all the work we do inside the curly bracket. You have to remember that. In Python, you don't need curly bracket. You don't need any bracket. You can, there's different thing. You have to maintain an indent. But in Java, you will do work inside the curly bracket. And always is a good practice if you put some gap here, one space here. So now S out, tab, I'm gonna print this. I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna print player within double quote. Don't worry about this stuff. It's just I put my, just to show this. And here you'll put the I. So what will happen? Like it'll do the loop. I value will change. Here the I value will change from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So it will print player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4 by index. That way, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So length is 1, 2, 3, 4. It will write 4 times. It should. Let's run it. Here the run button, run main. What it says? Java cannot find symbol. Why this error? Because we did not define what kind of variable is this, I. You have to define. And what I did here, This is the problem. If you program in different language, like in Python, you can do this way, but in Java, you have to do plus. So is this clear? Like here, I have to define this I. What kind of variable is this? What kind of container is this? Like you're gonna put this number 1, 2, 3, 4. So what kind of container you need? You need integer. That's why I put int.
Mhm.
See, this tool already complained, and it helps. What is other?
Space. Space.
Okay. So now you run again. See here is player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. See, it printed 4 times. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, like I mentioned, do while loop. While. Sorry. While. Let's say I defined some variable. Which one is easier for you, variable or container? Whatever you say, like it is container.
Mhm.
Okay, J, I started as 0. So I would say until J is less than 5, you do this. Print hello. How many times? Until. So I'm going to increase this. You have to increase the number, J number. So J. So what is happening here? I put J in the container, which is integer container.
Mhm.
I put 0. Then I am running while loop. I'm saying that run this until J is less than 5. And I am increasing J number. J plus 1, J plus 2, J plus. This is actually I'm increasing
You
J.
print hello 4 times, right?
Yeah. So I'm increasing J value by 1 every time I print. So in short, we don't write all this, we just say J plus plus. And if you're in a decrease, then this. So here it will increase. So if I run it again, see it printed it 5 times because I started with 0. So this is
Does that make sense? It's 5 times because it started at 0. So the first hello is 0. The second one here is 1. So it's going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
but if I put this one here, what will happen? Still 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say 1,
4 times C, because it started at j equals 1.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir, got it.
So if it was j minus minus, then wouldn't it go to infinity in the negative direction?
yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense?
So if you know the minus one,
Yes.
let's say
Okay.
you put it 10 in a decrease. Sorry, 10. Then you decrease this.
Right, but would it keep decreasing and past 0? Would it go -1, -2? Do you have to
It's basically it
define?
is doing this. And you say until 0.
Oh, okay.
No.
J greater than 0. Okay. Yeah.
See, programming is very interesting. So, like here, I say int. Another thing, like if you wanna declare something, int some number. I wanna put this big number. I wanna put double some number. When I put that int value here, see, do not complain. Like I said, double is bigger than int, or long, let's say long. Do not complain because long is bigger than int. So you're putting int value in the long. But if you're gonna put some but 2, see, it's red. It complains. So you have to cast it. See, now it doesn't complain. So you have to like you're gonna put bigger size into smaller size container. That if when you're gonna do that, then you have to convert it. But this line you see, small size putting the bigger size, it didn't need to convert it. But bigger size, when you put bigger value to lower container, smaller container, you need to cast it. Is that clear? So today that's it. It's too much for you because tonight, and we'll do next session again, and we'll do more Astrobee related. So good night. Any questions? Any comments?
So casting means putting it into the first bracket.
What did you say?
So casting, you're
Yeah.
using first bracket, then int, putting int into the first bracket. So casting means when I have to cast, then I have to put first bracket and
Yeah.
put that into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, there are other way you can cast it. I'll show next class. These are just basic. I just want to give you idea how Java works, and there's so many things to learn. So we'll do it in the future.
Yeah, and we will hold, we plan to hold our next class, the follow-up class, on December 6th, which is 2 Sundays from now. And I will also publish this on Facebook. So if there are no more questions today, we will end, and I will upload this video later this week.
And the next class there will be poll also.
Yeah, I'll have a question and answer poll.
And try to practice this. Try to learn Java basic.
Yeah, it'll be good
discussed.
if you, in the description of the class, I wrote where you can find the IntelliJ software or the IDE to download. So you can, download and install IntelliJ, and you can, write the code that we looked at in class today and try it on your own and see if it works. And next time we'll do a poll, a question and answer session in the beginning to see how much you remember from today, and to test your comprehension and understanding. So yeah, hopefully you guys will come back for that, and I hope you enjoyed today.
Yeah, so next class we'll be doing more Astrobee related, and for Astrobee we will be learning how class works in more detail, and there'll be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.